teams, they've got this really deep rooted grunge and grudge between each other. So I'm quite excited actually going into this match and see what these teams can bring out, because at the end of it all, whether or not you have a grudge, you are going to secure a spot in Vainglory A.
Yeah, you can tell some of the names are quite similar. So I think Deity Stars and Destiny Stars are probably going to know each other quite well. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're playing, and Spitfire and Delphi, I also believe, do know each other quite well. So if those four people playing against each other, it's going to be a little bit extra special for those players. But the draft is ready. So without further ado, we're going to go into the draft.
We are into the draft right now, and this is the first match of a best of 5. So I'm interested, like, going into this draft, what do you think? What do you expect? Because I know I'm just looking through at the player stats at this point in time, and then of course we do see Devil on plays a lot of Black Feather. So I think that the side of Artisan, their second ban might be that of Black Feather. If not, they will counter this Black Feather. Anyways, we do see a Baron being banned out. I'm not surprised if Grace or Lyra would be taken as a ban for the side of Divine Aurora.
Yeah, the healers are pretty prevalent. They're mostly banned or picked straight away. So if Grace or Lyra is banned, it's very likely the other one's going to be picked up immediately. So I don't think they're going to ban either Grace or Lyra, because then they give away the strong healer with only leaving Adagio open to themselves. And they're going to ban Kestrel. That's another target ban. Kestrel, one of those heroes where if you can play it well, you're unlikely to beat a Kestrel. They can go weapon, they can go crystal, and they shoot so much damage that if they win the early game, they can snowball you pretty easily. And so there'll be quite a lot of emphasis on Black Feather. Maybe we'll see it banned away in the second round of bans. You don't generally see Black Feather in the first picks, because he has got quite a few counters. Idris is great. If you play Idris well, you can pretty much, as long as you don't lose the early game, you can beat a Black Feather. And there will be a lot of Idris priority picks, and I've got a feeling he'll be banned away in the second phase again if he's not picked up quite early on. He's a good Vox counter, so it makes sense to pick him now. Or maybe they just want to pick Grace or Lyra and secure one of those healers.
Well, yeah, definitely. I must agree with you. Idris has been so strong in this current meta with, Baron being banned out so very often. So I'm not surprised if, and like you said, Idris is a really good Vox counter. So they are going to secure the healer, that Lyra. I'm not surprised if they are going to go for that Grace ban just to deprive the side of Artisan, that other very strong healer for the late game. They do ban out that Catherine. So, honestly, if they do take out that Idris as a ban at this point in time for the side of Artisan, they might be in a very good position, because we have 3 different carries being picked out and 3 very meta carries. In fact, we have the Baron being banned out, that Castrol, and of course the Vox being picked out on the side of Artisan. So if they are going to ban Idris, which they do, so the draft is looking very good for the side of Artisan at this point in time.
Yeah, it's important that they banned Idris there, because I had a feeling that Divine Aurora wanted to play a competition we've seen before, which is Lyra, Grace, Idris, and they didn't ban away Grace. I think they probably wanted to pick up those two, because they knew Vox was picked. They knew that they're not going to pick Idris as well. You rarely play Crystal Idris in the jungle, so they were safe. If it wasn't banned, they could pick Idris last, and if they're as their team B, they can get 2 picks one after the other. So they could have got Lyra and Grace, guaranteed their 2 captains, and then it would have been in a good draft either way. Idris ban, make sure that comp can't happen, and they pick Samuel. Scarf is good. Scarf can outrange Samuel pretty well, and they're probably just going to ban this off with an Arden, or maybe a Grace, but I think it might make sense to get that barrier from Arden to try and keep Scarf out of the picture, because they're still likely to go dive here. They might still go Black Feather. They might go. That's about it for dive, actually. There aren't many weapon power carries unless they go laying blade, which is alright against Vox, but isn't the best. I'd like to see actually the Grace, but they're gonna go Finn. They're gonna go Finn Scarf. Finn Scarf's a really good combination. Scarf synergizes really well with Finn, getting the barrier from Finn's Plight Company, the barrier from Scarf's Dragon's Breath. But then a Black Feather would be great into this. It would dive onto Vox, dive onto Scarf, and Finn isn't that much of a problem, because he can just run around Finn really. And they might just go for the Ringo or something more safe like that.
Yeah, and there's a weakness with Finn. Generally, Finn provides really good protection with, that fortified health from polite company if his allies actually do fight around him. That's one thing that he cannot provide like the other roamers is the ability to peel. So we do see a Black Feather being picked up on the side of Divine Aurora, and that has been a priority pick so far. Like we've been talking about it earlier on, before draft even started, that Divine Aurora is really looking forward, into getting that Black Feather, and I'm quite surprised actually that the side of Artisan did not ban it out. But however, like you said as well, there's a lot of Black Feather counters or checks out there. This is to round off their comp on the side of Divine Aurora. We have that Lyra, Samuel, and of course the Black Feather. And of course, on the side of Artisan, we are seeing that Vox, Scarf, and Finn combination. For me, honestly, yeah, I really like the team coming out from the side of Divine Aurora, because it just seems so much more balanced, and how, like you said, Black Feather can just jump into the back lines to take out that Fox or even that Scarf, just leaving Finn in front, because Finn has to engage. What do you think? What are your opinions coming into this draft?
I think obviously you can't discount the fact that Artisan are the Vainglory 8 team and Divine Aurora are the challenger team, so the odds are definitely with Artisan. I do agree that the draft from Divine Aurora has the potential to be much better. But then again, if you don't play it 100% perfect, say Black Feather dives in and Samuel's still on the backline poking, then if Black Feather dives in and Scarf and Vox just stay by their Finn, they don't run away, they just stand next to Finn, then Black Feather's going to have to be next to Finn because he's diving onto the carries, and then Finn can get polite companies, give them a barrier, Quibble to stun Black Feather, and then Scarf will goop, and Black Feather's going to die really quickly. Even if you buy an Aegis, if you get stuck on a goop when you're burning from Scarf, you're going to go down to half health pretty quickly. So then Black Feather might have to run away, and then they haven't got the best chase comp. Obviously, Lyra's good at running away. Scarf and Vox aren't the best at chasing, especially Finn isn't good at chasing. I think it's going to be tough for Divine Aurora to actually pull this off, unless Artisan they just split up. So if Scarf and Vox just run away from Finn obviously won't be able to keep up with them, and then Divine Aurora will really have the chance to use Black Feather to dive for the back line and delete one of the carries.
Yeah, honestly, like you said, that the team comp coming out from the side of Divine Aurora may be a little difficult to execute. But at the end of the day, they do seem like they have the balance, the more balanced team comp overall. They have the Black Feather to actually dive in. And of course, they have that Samuel to provide that poke. One thing that Divine Aurora lacks is really just that front line to just soak up all the damage. I mean, Black Feather can do that as well, but we know Weapon Black Feather, and as you said, he can't really stand in Scarf's goop for a very long time. He gets bursted down almost immediately. So they are just going to go through a similar rotations, except for the side of Divine Aurora. They might find Doubtfire at this point in time. Doubtfire may be AFK.
Yeah, they're going to get a very aggressive start. You want to invade. You've got a Samuel. He's not the strongest at level 1, but you're against the Scarf, who's even weaker at level 1. The Spitfire knows he can get Dirty Stars jungle. Dirty Stars can dig at the backs and will probably get his fronts. Actually, no, the fronts were taken, I think, by Devil on Black Feather. The Scarf's just going to port home probably now, and he's quite low on health. And actually, she's got much healthier from the regen. And Scarf's actually going to try and sneak this Elder Treant away. Devil is there, so we'll spot it. Yeah, so Dirty Stars, to seeing that Black Feather's there, she's going to port home. It looks like it's actually going to be a lane Samuel and a jungle Black Feather, which we did not expect. Obviously, you expect to see lane Black Feather and jungle Samuel, which seems like the stronger pick. But it looks like the Spitfire wants to just push back Harkons by getting those Malice and Verdicts pressure and just using basic attacks with his farm. So it could work out. Black Feather will be able to invade Scarf all right, but I would prefer to see Samuel in jungle. What about you?
Similar consensus. I do prefer if Samuel is placed in the jungle, but I just think it just goes down to comfort level of the teams playing at this point in time. There was something that I was about to point out earlier on, but I kind of slipped my mind is that Devil, when he plays on this Black Feather, he usually more often than not plays it in the jungle. So I'm actually quite surprised to see this Samuel being picked up as like the second pick. Because I was thinking that because if Devil is playing, then he'll definitely pick up that Black Feather and he's going to go into the jungle, then why the Samuel? And then, of course, Spitfire is kind of known for the Samuel in lane. However, there is one thing. Samuel in lane just do not have that poke ability because of the amount of minions out there. And we do see Vox with the Book of Eulogies just to keep up with the sustain. But honestly, I personally think, and I do agree with you, that Samuel being in the lane is just so much stronger as compared in jungle is just so much better compared to when he's plays in lane.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably a lot of comfort picks. Spitfire knowing how to farm effectively with Samuel means that you can pretty much play whoever you want in lane as long as you can farm and not die. Then you'll get goals, you'll get items quicker than your enemy laner, and so you'll be a good laner in yourself. But the fact that Samuel has his Corrupted Genius perk, that empower basic attack, I think it's going to be about 6 seconds, means that he'll sustain in lane better than almost anyone. Even though Delphi had a Book of Eulogies, Harkon's had Harkon's had a Book of Eulogies, and Delphi had the Iron God contract. Spitfire was just full health. Obviously there was Lyra to give the Imperial Sigil, but Spitfire could just get his energy back, get his health back with that Corrupted Genius perk, and he's going to be stopped from pulsing home there with stuff from Harkon's. And now Spitfire just wants to go in. He wants to port home, but Harkon stopped it, so he's going to have to clear another way before he does get to that. And again, we just see Devil and Daisy Stars just farming up. Daisy Stars going to rotate up to lane. Spitfire not quite going to land onto Spitfire. And that's going to be a combination for today.
That will be, yeah.
Spitfire's going to port home now. He will get away. But Vox can rotate down to Jungle Shot, so they'll both be even on items. And that is a full Frostburn picked up for Spitfire. Harkons couldn't afford the Poison Shiv. And look at that CS difference. It's only a 10 CS lead for Spitfire because Harkons has just been pushed out of lane. He's been poked out by Samuel, a bit low on health, a bit low on energy. So that's really good for Spitfire on this Samuel.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, it is 4 minutes in. We will be expecting at least 10 CS, coming into this level of competition. And I must say, Spitfire is doing rather well on this Samuel because of just how Corrupted Genius work, and definitely, of course, his perk, like you said, and of course, Malice and Verdict can just poke Harkons out of lane rather easily. I must say, Deity Stars being, up in lane so very often, I don't know, like, it does provide some poke and assistance to Harkons, but even then, that CS that Harkons have suffered because of the amount of poke coming up from Spitfire, I don't know, in a late game, Vox can be stronger than Samuel because generally Samuel is seen in the jungle. But then what do you think? What do you personally think? Because if Vox is not farming up well, yeah, and then you place Samuel, who is such a item-hungry hero, into the lane, and then if he's able to secure all those farm that he needs, then wouldn't that make Harkons kind of useless on this Vox in the later part of the game, even when, unless of course you're saying that Deity Stars can provide the support from the back, but honestly, just look at the game itself, it's kind of even at this point in time. It's just the Spitfire is doing so much better in lane as compared to Harkons.
Harkon's going to be forced under turret. He's probably going to lose quite a few of his minions. Turret's going to take them. And so again, the gold advantage is going to Spitfire quite a lot. I think there is, as you said, there's basically no gold lead to either team. Spitfire dodging out Spitfire from Scar. And he's going to just use that just to farm the lane. I don't think they're going to go in. Both teams are all about poke. As Deity Stars getting nice Spitfire into Goop, landing onto the Samuel, and he's going to have to port home. We've seen very defensive plays from Devil. He's just basically farmed his own jungle, kind of ignored the Scarf, not really rotating up to lane, just been farming, which is something we see a lot from Crystal Power Blackfeather. The Devil deciding that on this weapon Blackfeather he could just let Deity Stars farm, which is a bit risky. Obviously, Deity Stars is quite far ahead of Blackfeather in the jungle. I think the CS lead that Samuel has over Vox is pretty much negated entirely by the CS lead that Scarf has over Blackfeather. So it means that the jungler from Artisan is going to be trying to beat out the laner from Divine Aurora because they're both ahead. Blackfeather's obviously behind, but so is Vox. So it's going to be interesting to see who can out-poke, and it's going to be very, very even. Obviously, you think that Spitfire is going to be way ahead and be able to carry the game from there. But with Deity Stars a level ahead of Devil and almost a tier 2 item ahead, it's going to be interesting to see who can outpoke. Obviously, Samuel has probably longer, but there's going to be forced to go off the Finn, probably going to land, and Dragon's Breath coming up. Scarf can silence from the box, going to wait for it. Devil's going to come through. That was Oblivion not quite landing from Samuel. No one's just going to do anything. That's going to back off. Deity Stars is full health, going to land some good Spitfires, actually hitting highest there. There's going to be the appearance from Lyra to try and keep him healthy, but it's not going to work. Spitfire's going to go drifting dark, try and secure these minions, a goop from Scarf to make sure he doesn't go there. And both teams backing off. No one really has the engage except from Devil, who can dive in. No one has the ability to completely to go in fully in a team fight. They kind of just both poke and then wait to see who gets poked lower, and then they both back off.
Well, yeah, definitely. I do agree with you. It's just down to execution in the late game as well. We do see just now that, you know, although the side of Artisan actually has got a lot of damage, much more damage as compared to, of course, Divine Aurora at this point in time. But, you know, they can just heal it all back up with Divine, with Imperial Sigil on that Lyra, from that Lyra, and of course Corrupted Genius as Samuel's perk. So I'm not sure. Like you said, only Devil on this Black Feather has the ability to dive in, and of course Lyra can just provide the backline support with Imperial Sigil and whatnot, and the kit basically, like Bright Bulwark. But then again, as Lyra, your biggest kit is really just stopping any engage, any form of engage. Ooh.
That's going to be a good engage from Jason. He's going to get Vivian. He's going to be slept up out of that Dragon's Breath. Spitfire's going in. He's going to try and get Deity Stars, but there's a portal, and Blackman's going to pick up the kill on Fox just about. Deity Stars going to try and get the kill on Devil, but he's going to run away. Forced to cord, not quite there. It was reset blocked by Highest just to make sure, and Blackfeather does manage to get away. Just barely. That was Deity Stars on his side of the lane, and Fox and Finn were coming from the backside to try and get a gank onto Spitfire or Devil. But that just left Spitfire to 1v1 the Scarf, which went fine. Spitfire didn't lose, neither did Scarf, because it was a good sleep from Samuel to make sure Scarf was slept out of her Dragon's Breath. It's not too difficult to do. You generally know where Scarf wants to go when she puts her Dragon's Breath down, but Deity Stars needs to pick up a reflex block so that he can block that Oblivion from Samuel. It's very important, and Samuel's got his full Broken Myth and Infusion. The Spitfire really wants to fight. There's an Infusion pop. He's going to poke that Mouse of Phoenix, get good Broken Dispatch onto Finn, and so now Artisan got a bit of turret damage from Scarf, but going to have to back off. Spitfire with a full Broken Myth box, only with the 2 cheap weapon power items. Really is not comparing to Samuel. That Tension Bow, Poison Shiv build. He hit obviously it's the same number of tier 3 items, but Spitfire has far more damage. Tuffler's just waiting in the bush. Scarf's now picked up a Broken Myth. Black Feather obviously only with 1 damage item, only with the Serpent's Mask, not with the full Waiting Bomb yet. So the Devil doesn't fight. The Wait for It Fox is going to silence out, and that's a lovely one after the wait for it. Spitfire's going very low. Dragon's Breath on Scarf. He's going to sleep out Scarf, and it's going to silence up Finn. Deity Star's going to have to back off. He's slept out of the Dragon's Breath. Spitfire's doing so much damage, he's forced the mountain. No Devil's going to go in. He's most offensive, but he's going to get stuck on the goop. It's going to be a kill traded both ways off Samuel, one for Scarf. Scarf didn't ignite the goop. Just kept Devil on top of the goop so that Vox could do the damage. Scarf got it with a basic attack. And Spitfire and Deity Stars are not going to be able to fight each other. They just poke each other out. They're both sustained with the E. Samuel sustains with his Corrupted Genius. And no one can get an ace because they can all just survive and back off.
Yeah, I must say this game is looking rather even for both of these teams. Just a note to the viewers out there, we do actually have Artisan, and Artisan comes from the roster of Vainglory 8. And then we have the side of Divine Aurora that came to ranks and climbed up the ranks from challengers. And so honestly, I am quite surprised, how well the side of Divine Aurora is just holding and just holding their grounds right now. Although there are a lot of poke. Ooh, Scarf is preparing a siege on the tower with a Spitfire. and group combination. They are looking for an engage, but then honestly, they just do not have what it takes for an engage. Lyra, we saw in that engage just now, longer than engage, Lyra can just hold it in and just heal them all back up with that Imperial Sigil. I personally do not think that Bright Bulwark has got any users at this point in time, just maybe for the mass slow, the AoE slow, but that's about it. But then we do see coming up from the side of Divine Aurora, they just has got so much sustain as compared to Artisan.
Yeah, I think the Divine Bulwark is going to be used pretty much only after, either when Devil dives in, try and keep him on top. The way it's going to come from good silence, into force course again, up block, you get blocked, up, wait for it, silence, and then there's the Dragon left the scarf, no one flipping from Samuel to try and stop her out of that. And now we're just going to see the poke from Spitfire and from Scarf. Spitfire is quite low on energy, so he's going to try and get that back with an Empower basically back, but the two smart dive in Fox there. There was a stun from Delphi waiting for him. Spitfire's going to try back out there, she does, and Devil tanks that Spitfire for Spitfire. It sounds weird, but it's definitely right. and they're just gonna wait. They're not gonna. No one can really engage except for Devil. Archons can try, but they can just back off. Samuel's going to go in there, starts to just boots away. Everyone's low on energy now, except for Devil, because he's Black Feather, he doesn't need energy. And we're just going to see everyone backing off again. It's so hard to actually see a team fight from either team, because if anyone dives in, they're in a hold position. You dive in against a Lyra, she'll wall walk you, and you'll be stuck. You dive in against a Finn, he'll stun you, he'll polite company you, and his team will get a barrier, your team will be stunned, and they're going to win the fight. So it's going to be all on Devil on this Black Feather to secure kills. Spitfire won't be able to do it, and the 80 Stars won't be able to do it either.
But I must say, looking at the team fight so far, we are actually seeing the side of Divine Aurora kind of coming up in the longer team fights because of how sustainy and how much sustain they have. Just looking at Spitfire, the Corrupt Genius it's just godsend for their team. And then of course you have Imperial Sigil on that Lyra just to provide that extra sustain. And of course iDevil is going for the sustain build on Black Feather as well. I'm going for that Serpent's Mask into Breaking Point, and I'm not surprised if the third red item coming out from Devil will be that of Poison Shift just to help out with that sustain. And then there is no answer. Ooh, Harkons might be going in. Bulwark is being used.
Or used to make sure they don't engage too far. So Buzz going to try and get some broken misbacks, and so would Ace. That's a good goop combination, and Force could easily put this time. There was no wait for it from Archons, and Sleep not landing onto any members of Artisan. Spitfire's still going to go in there with the Drifting Duck, very aggressive. And to clear the wave and try and get poke out to Harkons. Harkons got an Aegis, and there's Dragon left the Scarf. Oblivion is there from Samuel. Wait for it. It's going to get high. There will be a kill for Daisy Stars. Spitfire's not done. It's going to keep going. Devil's going to dive in. Nice one's defensive to get 3 basic attacks off, and there's a good stun of Delphi onto Devil. Devil's going to fall, and now Spitfire's going to back off. He's not going to be able to stop this turret, even though everyone from Artisan is low on energy. Daisy Stars going to boots in. He wants to get Spitfire. The goop's not quite there. Hasn't got the energy for it. Archons is going to try as well, but Spitfire managing to keep alive. He couldn't stop the turret, and that may be a Kraken, but it looks like Manu are going to respawn, so Artisan won't risk it, especially given how low they are on energy. They're all just going to port home and reset. It was a good fight for Artisan.
It was a really good fight coming out from the side of Artisan. Granted, we do see a Force Accord being blocked out, but then again, I'm not surprised if Finn would actually be going for that Echo because of how accurate Crucible is being used just for Finn's ultimate. Initially, we do see a combo wombo coming out from the side of Harkons, and Artisan himself. Vox used Wait for It first, and then of course, what are we waiting for? We are waiting for the Force Accord that comes out afterwards. But at a point in time, that fight, Wait for It wasn't used at all. It was just a Force Accord coming out and then that being blocked out. But then because, they just committed, the side of Divine Aurora was just way too committed in that fight. And that is where, that's really just a downfall. We do say that, Devil can dive in, can put out damage and go into the backlines. Problem with doing that is that they might be looking for an engage, but then problem with doing that is that you are now facing, going up against someone who has got burst and of course sustain coming out from Harkons as well. So I personally do not think that it's a really smart move going in, and as you said earlier on, it is a rather risky move for Devil to just go in against a Scarf, and of course Harkons Wait for It comes out.
There's the wait for it, but it didn't land on the last. I think it's good to block. That's be Devil diving into the backline. He's getting quite low. And Fox and Scarf are absolutely fine. Then Dragon's going to go through the portal, not quite. She managed to dodge it and going to get the kill on Lyra. Devil's going to get hit by the Spitfire. He will fall. Not quite. Yes, he will. So basically, Captain Scarf. There's the double. Spitfire once again left alone. Data Star's a bit low on energy. Going to get the stream and be okay for a little bit. Hellfire's getting low from the Melissa. Samuel's trying to clear this wave as quickly as possible. Archon's low on energy, but that shouldn't matter for a Vox. He should be able to take this turret quite quickly. He is tanking it. There are no minions. There's actually one minion, so Artisan will be able to get this with the Scarf. Scarf has fantastic turret objective focus damage. And again, Artisan all low on energy, all going to have to port home. That was a really good engage from Artisan. They waited for Blackfeather to try and go in, and then just turned it around, focused him. They basically ignore Samuel. He has a Corrupted Genius, Heroic Perk, and an Eve of Harvest. And so it's so hard to actually kill Samuel because he'll just be on the back line no matter what you do. Even if the Force Cord had landed, he could just block the Quibble, House of Charges away, and then he's again at the edge of the fight. Whereas Devil, if he runs away, he doesn't do any damage. So focus Devil, Quibble to stun him. There's the Echo on Finn, as you said. He might be for nowhere as well, but that's unlikely. Echo's just as good. And so they're probably going to fight again. There's the Force Cord not blocked, and there's an Echo waiting for the second one, and it was actually used on the Quibble, unfortunately. So after Dragon's best in, Devil's very low. Arcane Passage falls so low. Devil's always going to fall. He's going to get that on point and going to boost away. There's no Crystal Sentry. It was already taken out. Devil one hit from death.
Oh!
Not going to get the kill. Lovely bonus offensive from Devil. And there's Lyra, and once again, leaves Spitfire. He can't 1v3. We'll just kill it later, or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just get back to it. Archon says no. I'm going to kill Spitfire. I'm going to boot. Finn's going to boot. They're going to get the kill, and that is an ace for Artisan.
This is the first ace of the game after tons and tons of back and forth coming out from both teams. Initially, I must say I really like the team coming out from the side of Divine Aurora, but like you said, there are very deliberate negatives and cons from the side of Divine Aurora as well, and like all of the team fights at the side of Artisan, the only reason they are in Vainglory 8 and they are part of that roster of 8 big teams in Southeast Asia is just down to how well they are playing their macro plays. But when they won the previous team fight, they got a turret, and then Deity Stars was actually collecting their Crystal Sentry as well, and that put them at an advantage. Anyways, Kraken is out right now, and then walking and trumping down that falls, hoping, that base is cracked open. If they have another good engage, Force Accord is being used.
Oh, there's the Echo. Finn did use it on the Force Accord, so it's available for a second time. There's going to be only on Spitfire, though, which is what you wanted. That's going to be Samuel pretty much falling. Dragon's left the Scarf. Just going to my Fox securing that kill. Highest going to do anything there. He's going to try and just Arcane Passage for a bit of troll to get them where they don't want to be. And Blackfeather's going to try and dive in, but he got trolled by the Arcane Passage. Fox is just going to be able to get away. He's going to run through it and be on the other side. Scarf Fox is going to focus on the turret, and then Star's going to go for highest. Actually, he's going to get the kill. Devil's going to fall once again, and that will be another ace. Scarf is ridiculous, and that will be game 1 going over to Artisan.
Yep, and like we said off stream, you did predict that the side of Artisan might take this best of 5 into 3 games, just 3 games for them, and honestly, just looking at how they are playing for the side of Artisan, they are playing amazing. Granted, initially, they ran into some problems, some troubles because of how well Spitfire can sustain in that lane, but at the end of the day, when Devil do actually go in, the problem is that when Devil goes in, then he gets focused down. But in that final fight, in that last fight, we did see that, Spitfire was priority, and then they are prioritizing this Samuel, trying to take Samuel down as fast as possible, just leaving iDevil to just do whatever iDevil does best. And that is just sustaining and not putting out a lot of damage, because just look at the items themselves. Devil went for that very sustained build with that Serpent's Mask, with Breaking Point. And then, of course, we do see Harkons as well going for the traditional Meta Vox build with that shift into Tension Bow, then, of course, Breaking Point. So, honestly, the damage coming out from both weapon carries, it's it's just heaven and earth, yeah? We have Harkons, we have got 3 damage items, and of course, Devil just sitting on 2 damage items is just not enough damage. And it doesn't help that once you go in, you get bursted down by Deity Stars almost immediately. And of course, well played coming out from the side of Delphire, picking up that echo and just luring them into burning their first reflex block, wait for it, and going for the second pull again. So it is really good play, very good macro play coming out from the side of Artisan, just being able to hold their ground through that early game, and of course, eventually scaled into that late game beast they are.
Yeah, it was extremely well played. They waited for Blackfeather to dive in, killed him, and then they just decided, okay, now we've killed Blackfeather, we'll just wait. Samuel might get away, but once we get to the late game box, we'll be able to chase him down, and we'll get the ace, we'll get the Kraken, and we'll get the game. It was extremely well played. I don't think there was much that Divine Aurora could have done, except from invading the early game. Blackfeather's way better than Scarf is at level 2 and before level 8. That if Blackfeather had gone into the jungle, tried to invade, tried to stop Scarf scaling up, then they would have had a chance, but Scarf outscales Samuel pretty quickly, and then Vox against Blackfeather isn't the challenge if Blackfeather gets bursted down by Scarf immediately. So well played by Artisan, and they'll be looking forward to this second game. Without further ado, draft is ready, so we are going to go into the draft.
We are into the draft right now. So although Devil has been playing a lot of Black Feather, but I don't think Samuel on this Black Feather really poses a threat to the side of Artisan. Rather, they do not see him as a threat. Maybe just because they know reliable counters into this Black Feather, or just because Devil has been only playing Black Feather so far. I'm just looking at going through his stats right now. I usually do go through stats for players coming up from the Challenger series, just to better understand how they play, what they are playing, because we know what players play in the Vainglory 8. So just look at his stats right now. He does rather well on this Black Feather. It's just that the side of Artisan just has got better answers to it. Anyways, we are into draft at this point in time. We have the side of Artisan on the red side, and of course the side of Divine Aurora, or I like to call them based on their tag, Divas, on the side on the blue side.
I think it makes sense that if you have a hero that you're really comfortable on, that's your main pick, say you only play Blackfeather for the whole of the Challenger series, then when you come up against these top Vainglory 8 teams, they're gonna look at your VG Pro, they're gonna look you up, see, oh, he plays only Blackfeather. Let's think of a competition that will counter Blackfeather and we'll win the game. That's all they had to do. They just thought, okay, it's very likely they're going to go a dive hero like Blackfeather. He's not comfortable on people like Ringo or any of the poke heroes, and they've already picked Samuel, so we know they're going to pick a weapon power carry, and so we'll just counter the Blackfeather before it's picked and expect it to be picked up anyway. And they're going to ban Samuel. I think that makes sense. Samuel's quite a strong hero, even though they didn't win the last game. You don't let it through, and they're going to immediately get after the box split. They're going to get the Kestrel. They don't want it to be banned away. They're going to get Kestrel this time, which does make sense.
Well, yeah, definitely. Spitfire on that Samuel has posed quite a bit of threat in the early game for the side of Artisan. I mean, we saw a 10 CS gain on their side. So they do actually pick up that Kestrel, which was banned out in the previous game. And of course, banning that out after the Kestrel is the definite Catherine, because we know Catherine is a reliable check into this Kestrel. So good play on the side of Artisan. Draft is looking pretty well so far. We have the standard bans of the Baron. I'm not surprised if the side of Divine Aurora, they are going to ban out that Finn, but I personally do not think that Finn was much of a threat. It was just down to the fact. Yeah, but I mean, Finn wasn't much of a threat. It was just down to the fact that, I mean, Finn has got such a weak early game, yeah, because he's so immobile, yeah, and they are, the side of Divine Aurora, I must say, their draft this game, they are not looking very well. They picked the Fox, and then of course banned out that Finn, because Finn posed a threat to their team, to their team in the previous game because of the double hook coming out from Echo, and then of course they are going to pick that Arden into Lyra. What are your thoughts?
I think they banned the Finn because Finn Kestrel is a combination that you do not want to play against. It doesn't matter if it wasn't Finn in the last game. It would be Finn in this game if Finn was picked, because you get that Echo, you get a second pull into an active camo trap, and whoever you picked has died. That's why they banned the Finn away. Lyra, a good healer, and they're going to go Arden. That's just a comfort pick. Obviously, Grace might make more sense to counter the healing from Lyra, and Arden, obviously, can't use any of his abilities when he's trapped inside the Bright Bulwark. But I think Arden's hoping he won't be trapped in the Bright Bulwark, so he's happy to pick it. But no one will think they really had a bad deal from that restart.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, both teams were rather even before that restart. So honestly, they are going. We do see Hires just going into the mid brush, and of course, together with Spitfire and Destiny Stars, they do learn from their mistakes. We do see Lyra going in at this point in time, maybe face checking, but Lyra would successfully get away because of that speed boost from Imperial Sigil. So they did learn from their mistake. They are, just mastering their rotations for the side of Divine Aurora. But there is one thing I must note. Ooh, Artisan, Delphire on this Lyra is just dancing alongside Hires on that of Arden. Of course, Harkons is just going down, taking the tree and just depriving the side of Divine Aurora any additional farm. He is going to rotate up back to lane and just going to continue farming. We did talk about the team comps. But then for you personally, which team comp do you think it's easier to execute? Because we are looking from the side of Divine Aurora, yeah? They have a rather balanced team comp. They have a frontliner, and that was what I was talking about in the previous game. Like the side of Artisan had a frontliner and they had 2 squishies, but on the side now of Artisan, they do actually have triple squishies. So which team comp do you think it's easier to execute and why?
I think it's going to be Artisan again, because Vox isn't going to be able to poke anyone really. He's going to go in, and then he's either going to get poked by Scarf or by Kestrel. And even though Highest, he said, is quite tanky on Arden, against someone like Kestrel Scarf, even though you have got quite a lot of health and you can use your Vanguard to get extra health, you're still going to fall very quickly, especially to someone like a weapon Kestrel. If Archons is allowed to farm up, it isn't pressured, which is going to be really hard to pressure a Kestrel when they've got Lyra. So Harkons will be able to farm up quite easily, and then you'll get 3 damage items quite early on. And Highest is going to have to either buy a full metal jacket to remain as that tank, or is going to die quite quickly to this Kestrel. So I do think Artisan are going to be okay in executing their comp. But then again, Destiny Stars will be able to dodge quite a lot of these skill shots with Sonic Zoom, as long as he has enough energy to do so. And I think he probably wants to port home and shop. He's got quite a lot of gold, but Harkons does as well. So no one really wants to fight at the moment. If they do get a kill, then that'd be great. They'll be able to shop freely and push the wave. But they're just going to port home. Makes sense. No one really wants to go in there.
Well, yeah, and looking at both of the laners CS, they are doing quite well. We are 3 minutes in, and they are sitting at 25. And of course, on the side of Destiny Stars, 24 CS. Not much of a difference. They are farming rather well right now. I'm actually expecting.
Oh, Celeste is dead. Celeste is so close to dead. They're going to get the stun.
Oh.
Basically dead, but not quite. And that was because Celeste got booted by the Elder. So Scarf landed the goop easily. Harker's going to boots for Destiny Stars. Glimmer Shot's going to miss. Good dodging from Vox. And Spitfire's going to secure all of his bats and going to try and get this mid as well. It's good for the Spitfire. He was very low. The Destiny Stars will be able to get that highest. He's going to Vanguard himself and be able to get away. And that was a good goop from Destiny Stars. I saw that Celeste was booted by the Treant, so obviously she's not going to be able to dodge that goop until she kills the Treant, which Celeste did manage to do. And one basic attack from Lyra would have a kill on Spitfire. And there's Highest going very low. Destiny Stars going to dodge out the core collapse from Celeste, and they're going to push this turret. Lots of objective damage from Artisan if they do decide to go for the turret, but at the moment they're just going for the damage onto the members of Divine Aurora. The Destiny Stars is going to try and farm up his wave. Good dodging out of these Glimmer Shots using the Sonic Zoom. And Scarf is actually rotated down, so it's actually a 2v3 where Artisan is still pushing back Divine Aurora, because obviously Celeste isn't very good, and Scarf is going to pick up the kill, rotating up, and that is going to be Highest going low. It's going to fall. Now Destiny Stars and try and farm this wave under the turret, but Harkon's going to push it up. Nice Glimmer Shot dodged by Destiny Stars. He's doing really well at dodging those with the Sonic Zooms. There's a Lyra, I don't think he should go for it. He's going to go in, try and get a kill onto Harkons, but will he trade his life for it? Not quite. Harkon's going to port home now. Actually, he's going to clear another wave before he ports home. A bit risky, but he has got a Lyra, so should be fine. And Spitfire's back in lane. He's going to not quite getting that Imperial Sigil. Good poke from Box on those resistance bounces. Now Harkon's still going to try and clear his wave. I think he should port home. This is risky for him to stay here. He knows Spitfire's in that bush, and Spitfire was there. Harkon's going to clear this minions, and then we'll be able to get away. Looks like Divine Aurora wants to invade into Artisan's jungle, but Deity Stars has already got it all. And now Delphi's just going to look out, see Spitfire. He's going to dodge the core collapse, and will be fine to use that Imperial Sigil to boost away. Looks like they're all going to back off.
Well, yeah. But there is one thing that Adam brings to this table, and that is just the Vanguard itself. We do see there's a lot of times where Vanguard really just nullified the damage coming out from the side of Artisan. Although we are seeing Artisan has that little lead. I mean, it's just a 1.2 thousand lead, but honestly, a lot of damage was nullified coming out from the side of Artisan, at least was nullified by that Vanguard from Hires. So I think the Arden pickup would be good. Ooh, Hires might be caught out right now by Deity Stars.
Yeah, Deity Stars going to come from the back line again, as he's done before. Good Spitfire on to Destiny Stars, who is quite low, going to land, not quite the next Spitfire, well dodged from Destiny Stars. And he's now going to try and farm up his wave. There's no minions yet, so he's not going to overextend. Spitfire's going to poke out. Destiny Stars is doing well. Good goop, can land actually onto highest, which wasn't quite what he wanted. And Harkon's is away from his team, so they could, Divine Aurora could dive onto Harkon's, but he has got a turret to back off to. That's going to go on to Deity Stars, and it's going to be Destiny Stars going onto Harkon's. Harkon's going to boost away, but so will Vox. Solar Storm Celeste going to pick up Deity Stars. A lot of damage, but that's going to be healed immediately by the Lyra Imperial Sigil. And it's good goop, going to slow down Spitfire. Highest blocking out that Spitfire, so that Celeste doesn't have to tank it. And this is going to be turret focused by Harkon's. Three glimmer shots on that turret, 2 glimmer shots on the turret, getting it down to about quarter health. And there's Scarf to get that turret down to half health. Artisan showing that they can just take a turret if they want to. And Celeste is going to rotate up as quick as she can. It's not level 8 yet, so it's unlikely Celeste can be able to stop this turret falling if they want to get it. But Artisan aren't going to be too overextending, and Harkon's just going to fire out some glimmers. He wants to push this wave. He knows that they've rotated down. This Artisan know that Divine Aurora have all rotated down. This will be a wave pushed in, and I don't think Artisan will be able to stop this turret falling, because Harkon's and Deity Stars are already on it. So that'll be the first turret going over to Artisan with the goop, maybe. Oh! And it's just about one shot onto highest, and Artisan is going to back off. Harkon has almost no energy, so he can farm up another way, but he won't be able to outpoke anyone. He can't even afford to do a glimmer shot. Now he's just about got enough for it. And Divine Aurora wants to push a return turret, but Deity Stars is there to try and make sure that doesn't happen. And Artisan will be able to just clear this wave and back off.
Yeah, and I realized something with very good siege heroes, generally their wave clear is insane as well. I mean, we did see, although the side, the only reason the side of Diva's turret got taken down was because the rail rotated down, and the side of Artisan picked up on that, and then immediately went in for that turret. But then when Divine Aurora did want to come back in to collect, their losses with, another turret, a turret for the side of Artisan, but then that didn't quite happen because both Deity Stars and Harkos was just in lane clearing out, all of those creeps and of course minions as well. But honestly, the side of Artisan, we do say that they are rather objective focused, yeah, and I don't think you deny that. Ooh, Spitfire is going in.
Boosting in. It's going to get the core collapse onto Delphi. I think he boots to try and stop this gold mine being secured. Scarf was soloing it, and now actually Divine Aurora are just going to go, okay, you started up one shot, gonna get the gold mine from Kestrel. Can't take a gold mine against the Kestrel and not block the one shot. That's a good poke from Scarf, and the score that's going to be blocked. Lovely block from Deity Stars to keep that Dragon's Breath going. Did get the kill on Spitfire. Highest is going to fall, and Delphi wants to go into Destiny Stars. Destiny Stars will be able to back off. Deity Stars on this Scarf, playing extremely well. Celeste was like, oh, I've got him. I'm just going to core collapse immediately out of the Dragon's Breath. The Deity Stars this time with a block much earlier on. We saw in the last game he didn't have a block against Samuel's Oblivion, so I think it was twice he got slept out of that Dragon's Breath. This time he's got a block for the core collapse, and he's actually going to go quite low. There's going to be an Imperial Surge to try and keep healthy. Destiny Stars going to pick up the kill, just about, and Lyra and Kestrel are going to back off. So it's good shutdown, good gold given over to Destiny Stars at the first kill for Divine Aurora this game. They can be happy that Scarf was a little bit overextended. Destiny Stars with no defense at all. Does obviously have sustain, but you're not going to be able to out damage a Vox if you're already low on energy.
Well, yeah, definitely. We are seeing, 4-2-1 for the side in favor of Artisan, and of course, just a mere 2k gold lead. Although they had a gold mine, they had, they had that turret as well. I'm looking for Artisan. I'm looking for, a better macro play coming up from the side of Artisan. Honestly, they have this lead. They should just snowball on that lead. Granted, energy issues is always a thing, but the side of Divine Aurora is just holding their base and ground so well. If that's the case, then why not Artisan? I recommend them really just go in for that crystal miner, just take it out, just so you have a little more control over the side of Divine Aurora's jungle, because you cannot perform any siege at this point in time. Vox has got his items now. His wave clear is rather insane. Granted, you have Deity Stars, you have that Scarf, you have Kestrel with better siege potential, but honestly, you have to keep snowballing your lead. Else, Celeste, like you said, if she lands those core collapse on Deity Stars, or wait for it comes out, forces reflex blocks to be burned, and Spitfire just lands the core collapse in that perfect scenario. So if that does happen, then Celeste that scales so well, a hero that scales so well into the late game, I think Artisan might see a little trouble. Just look at the amount of damage coming up from one Heliogenesis.
Harkon's going to boot in, try and get damage to the highest. I think he wants to find Destiny Stars, but wasn't able to. As he was about more Waterheads away from Lyra, Harkon's going to do some nice liver shots. One shot, one miss, not quite landing there. It's going to be the Dragon's Breath Scarf coming out and boots away by Spitfire to make sure he's not hit by that. Kestrel trying to 1v1 Vox, going to block up the gauntlet, but he's going to fall to Destiny Stars. Destiny Stars doing extremely well on this Vox. 9 breaking point stacks, there's Dark Impassion from Lyra. Lovely Soldiers from Celeste, and Destiny Stars probably going to pick up this Scarf, even though he's lower with those breaking point stacks. Could do it, but there's a gold mine and a scout trap. He's going to go for it. No, he's going to dodge out the Spitfire and not go too deep. Spitfire, however, is full health, full energy, full everything. That was pretty much a Vox 1v1ing the Kestrel, dodging a couple of clever shots, doing all the damage, forcing the block on the gauntlet from Arden. And then Spitfire was just free on the back line. Don't get hit by Scarf and poke if you can. And that was it for Destiny Stars. So Kestrel's really not playing this as a poke hero. Harkon is playing it as a dive-in, get in range of Vox hero, which is, it can work. Kestrel can out-damage Vox pretty easily, but Destiny Stars has got a full Aegis, so it's got armor. With that Aegis, you get a little bit of armor, and Harkon is just full glass cannon at the moment. So I think Harkon can still win a team fight if he just pokes from afar instead of going in range of Vox.
Yeah, this was what we were saying before the game even started, is that they have very good poke coming up from the side of Artisan. And Harkon's, honestly, like you said, shouldn't be playing, like that. They should play as the poke comp allows, because Delphi, if he does go in, he's a Lyra, he's not exactly very extremely tanky. Oh, wait for it comes out.
Wait for it, my ball used up by Lyra, and Scarf Dragon's breath up, going to stay alive. That's right, I think Scarf Destiny Stars going to kill onto Kestrel. Double kill, and that's going to be a triple for Vox. 16 breaking point stacks, and Destiny Stars is doing so much work on this Vox. They tried to get the turret. They have really good, Artisan have really good turret damage, and so they all went to the top of the lane, a couple of glimmer shots, Spitfire onto the turret, but then that meant that they were in a horrible position if Divine Aurora wanted to turn it around and fight, and so they did. Destiny Stars went onto Kestrel, picked up the kill, and Scarf went low and started channeling Dragon's Breath, and it doesn't actually do that much damage at the moment. There's a full Aegis on Vox, so Vox doesn't have to worry about the damage. He's now got a full metal jacket as well.
Well, yeah,
extremely good for Destiny Stars. He's really going to be able to out-damage the Kestrel in a straight 1v1.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, Vox is going for the sustained view. Ooh, Artisan is looking for more.
For more, that's how you play Kestrel, Harkons. Go on to Spitfire, get those sliver shots, and pretty much kill him. One shot, one kill, blocked by highest. And now, good. Captain Camera stun on today's Stars, Solar Storm. going to be blocked up by Delphire, and Artisan now going to back off. There's a active combo trap there. Then Stars walks into it. Wait for it, not going to land on Harkons, but there's the gauntlet. No block, Harkon's going to run away. Will he get away in time? One more basic attack, but there's no Imperial Sigil from Lyra. Harkon's going to be able to get away. And now it's up to Daisy Star, going to poke out, and there's going to be Dragon's Breath. Destiny Stars doing a lot of damage onto Daisy Stars. Will pick up a kill onto Kestrel, but Scarf gets the return onto Vox. This time they got the shutdown. Daisy Stars just about doing it. That's going to get killed, but Scarf got one of her own. That's the Imperial Sigil not quite keeping Scarf alive. Highest did fall to the Spitfire from Daisy Stars, but Spitfire couldn't get the kill onto Delphire, and just about got Daisy Stars. So that will be a 2-for-2 trade. Spitfire will be able to get a bit of jungle out from Daisy Stars, and Delphire is just going to be doing pretty much nothing yet in the port home. And pretty even team fight.
It is a rather even team fight. Earlier on, we do see that the side sorry. The side of Artisan actually had that 2k gold lead. But now just looking across the scoreboard, 8 kills to 6 in favor of the side of Divine Aurora. And of course, 2k gold lead as well in favor of Divine Aurora. So, you know, Divine Aurora, their team comp is starting to come together. They have a very good frontliner. They have good sustained damage coming up from Destiny Stars on that Fox, picking up 2 tier 3 items already. Fox is literally obviously full build at this point in time, and you know, he doesn't require any more money and any more gold at all. So, you know, honestly, Vox at this stage, yeah, you can only poke from the back, and your key target really is that of Spitfire, because what Spitfire is doing from the back lines is really just to zone out and poke you down. Ooh, look at the damage coming out from the side. That was from Harkon on that Kestrel.
Yeah, the Spitfire's going to go very low. You haven't got any defense on Celeste. It's going for the glass cannon damage from a far build, whereas Vox, obviously that poison shiv and double defense, is going for much more in the fight damage. And Artisan did spot that Celeste ported home, so they're going to get map pressure, and just going to push the wave in actually. Harkon wants to try and possibly get some damage onto the turret, and now Spitfires respawn, they're going to back off. And both teams just want to poke out. Scarf is landing a couple of Spitfires, getting broken mid stacks, that almost dodged out, and now they're going to back off. Spitfire going to get this mid tree, but Deity Stars has picked up an infusion, hasn't quite got a frostburn, whereas Celeste has actually got 3 damage items, so it is a good position for Celeste to fight. And they're going to get poke, infusion pot for Vox, and Celeste isn't one for Harkon yet. He has only got 100 gold, so they're going to need to farm up quite a bit more before he gets that, and Artisan know. And I think Divine Aurora know that Artisan don't want to fight. They're going to start up this Kraken, probably just for a bait. One shot onto highest, that'll be a good block, so Spitfire doesn't take it. It's both teams looking to fight, looking to bait the Kraken, to force a fight. Harkons just really wants to farm, wants to get 500 gold, get his fusion. He's going to catch out with Spitfire though. Talking going to be blocked up. There's a Solar Storm going to pick up the kill. Spitfire with so much damage, more than Harkons in that 1v1. River's going to go in the gauntlet, going to not be blocked up by Delphi. He's going to fall. Deity Star's going to be able to back off. Spitfire doing so much damage. We saw him get caught out by Harkons on Kestrel. Kestrel active camo him. Just glimmer shot onto Spitfire, but then Spitfire landed the core collapse, which was blocked, and just Solar Storm to absolutely destroy Harkons, and that'll be 2 kills for Divine Aurora. This game's much more in their favour.
Well, yeah, I mean, 2 kills and a Kraken. Just look at the burst coming up from Spitfire on the Celeste. I mean, we know, yeah, for a fact that Celeste, I personally prefer Celeste over Scarf in scenarios like this, because in the late game, the amount of damage and amount of sustain you have is much more compared to the Scarf. Don't get me wrong, Scarf is a really good mage, but in this kind of game when, you know, it's a poke war and it's just who can deal damage in the most damage in the shortest amount of time, the side of Divine Aurora do come out on top. Granted, we did see Deity Stars on that Scarf, and he plays an excellent Scarf. It's just damage coming out from the side of Divine Aurora is just way too much. Anyways, they are preparing to siege. This Kraken will definitely crack open the base of Artisan. It is looking rather similar to the previous game, just on the opposite side. What do you think Artisan should do? You know, just turn this game around and, you know, and possibly win the match, the game 2, in this best of 5.
I think it's mostly down to Harkons on this schedule. He's playing like he wants to play, which is, I want to dive on someone, want to glimmer shot them and just kill them instantly. But that's not how your composition is built. It's not what your composition is built for. You're built for poke, and you will outpoke them if you just try. Because in that last fight, he dived on top of Celeste and tried to literally 1v1 Celeste basically at melee range. And Celeste obviously managed to outdamage him because in a really short space of time, Celeste will do more damage. You get Helio Genesis Supernova and Solar Storm, and you'll basically kill anyone, especially if they haven't got an Aegis. You saw Harkons fell so quickly that even though he actually got the first poke off, he got a couple of glimmer shots before Celeste even did anything. Celeste just had to Supernova, Solar Storm, and Harkons died. So he has to just poke. He can't dive into Spitfire to try and kill him. He has to. He does the damage. He does 400 crit on glimmer shots from far away, and 400 crit from glimmer shots close up. Just poke from far away, get that damage.
Ooh, they are coming in from the back.
Yeah, they're coming from behind. Artisan are going to push the wave, and I don't know who's in a good position here. Divine Aurora, I think they are, but Artisan are going to be happy because they've got the minion wave that they can just push in. But then again, Divine Aurora can stop the minion wave by just being on that side, and they're only going to back off. Now, everyone wants to be able to back off to their own jungle instead of being forced back off into the enemy jungle. So no one wants to really fight when the team swap sides.
Well, yeah, definitely. And that's one thing we must realize as well. I'm looking at Harkon's build at this point in time. He goes for the rather meta build for Castro. We have a Sorrow Blade and of course Tension Bow into double Tyrant's Monocle. Problem with that build is that the amount of armor coming out from the side of Divine Aurora is just so much. They are so thick, yeah? We've got Metal Jacket on highs, we've got Deity Stars with Metal Jacket, and I'm not surprised if Spitfire do go for the Metal Jacket. What I recommend Harkon to do really is just sell that Tension Bow or even one Tyrant's Monocle, settle for less damage but more sustain with that Bone Saw that he can actually do pick up, and with that you can shred the amount of armor for your team as well. Granted, Scarf does crystal damage, not armor. Ooh, just look at the amount of damage from those Helio Genesis. It's just so much. But anyways, that is what I recommend, really, honestly, just for Harkon to learn. Ooh, one shot, one kill do land.
Yeah, good block by Kraken. Kraken's left the shot, come out Spitfire. He's going to do a lot of damage. Harkon's going very low. Harkon's going to run away. He's going to be okay. That's going to be Lyra taking the death for his team. Harkon's did have Spitfire on the active camo trap, but wasn't in range to land a glimmer shot. He could now. He could try it. Spitfire's on active camo. He's going to actually stun up Spitfire, but there'll be a nice Vanguard to keep him alive. Harkon's going to fall to Deity Stars, and that was Kraken pushing down the base, and only Deity Stars is left. I don't think there's much that Deity Stars can do on your own to try and stop this Kraken, and all three members from Divine Aurora. He's going to try. He's got lots of Kraken damage, but there's Core Collapse not blocked. Spitfire going to pick up the kill. That's an ace. That is game 2 going over to Divine Aurora.
That is game 2 going for the side of Divine Aurora indeed. And you must say, and you must agree that Divine Aurora played to the strength of their comp. Granted, there's a lot of poke coming out from the side of Artisan, but honestly, it was just down to who could execute the comp better, and even more than that, it's just who can output more damage in a shorter span of time. And of course, the side of Divine Aurora came out on top with that Celeste, just zoning out with the multiple Helio Genesis. And of course,